So we're just going to allow about 1 or 2 more minutes. I see for some reason we've got quite a few more attendees just popping in. So just hold for 1 or 2 minutes, and you guys showed up on time. Thank you very much. So for you guys who just strolled in, good morning, good afternoon again. This is Mike. I'll be hosting today's workshop. This workshop is intended for management and owners only. We will not be covering any sales related topics or product topics in this. So if any sales individuals are on this workshop, and you were told to be, it's not necessary unless you are involved with the management or ownership of the office that you work at. Okay, so I hope you guys can all hear me fine, and we're ready for some transitions, some changes, because that's what we're going to have to do. So I want to update you guys on a couple things that are obviously taking place. The first topic that we're going to cover are naturally the changes that are happening over the weekend with the DOE on May 10th. As you guys know, they were expected to happen originally on in February. We knew about it at the beginning of February and how it has been pushed up until May 10th. We're also going to talk about the fee release changes. Some of the things we're working on, some of the things that are taking place currently. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, some offices got sued by the state of Illinois. They are implementing something called the Federal Trade Commission PSR ruling that was passed in October of 2010. So we're going to cover some of that. We're also going to cover reporting. We're asked on many different occasions how to run certain reports, how do we identify certain things, and today's workshop, what we're going to cover, which is going to be about probably 20-30 minutes, hosted by Marcos, is going to be the sales reporting that we run on our sales floor. And on our reports, you will see we cover naturally how many calls someone took, what the conversion rates were as far as deals, wait and talk time, quite a lot of things that we use. That's an extremely handy tool to manage the performance of our sales folks. So first thing we're going to get into is naturally the changes that are happening immediately, which is on May 10th. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a screen share with you all that I actually just found literally 15 minutes ago. So right now, you guys should be all able to see my screen, hopefully. And the website I'm on is the Federal Student Aid website. I can provide you guys all with this link, or if you guys would like, you can go ahead and write this down. It's www.financialaid.tk/details/JSP !ID = FSA-ID. Matter of fact, slides, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and copy that and put it in the chat box for anyone that would like to look at this after the workshop. In here, they naturally talk about the changes that are happening on May 10th. We found a PowerPoint presentation. In here. And it's a pretty basic introduction of the FSA ID, which is essentially replacing the FAFSA PIN number. So introduction page, introducing the FSA ID, which we covered pretty much in the last workshop. This touches on, instead of using a 4-digit PIN, how they're going to be redirecting all clients to this new FSA ID login page. So every person with federal student loans or applying for federal student loans is going to be required to complete this application. Once again, talks about, the sites that are going to redirect. Some of the sites are such as, National Student Loan Database, studentloans.gov. It's probably about, I believe, a total of 6 main websites that are going to be affected. Talks about, naturally it's not going to affect people with the PIN. All they have to do is go through the application process, blah, 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 blah. So I've given you guys the URL for you to review this on your own, but in a nutshell, everybody with a FAFSA PIN currently has to put in their date of birth and also social security number, not to mention a maiden name, the first 2 initials. And the federal government for the Department of Education has been using this method for the last 12 years. What's been happening is there's been a lot of security issues with that method due to, you can argue and say because third parties are collecting it, or because it's readily available for literally anybody worldwide to obtain this information. And from a security standpoint, naturally, your PayPal account today doesn't ask for your social, date of birth, PINs, which typically is the same as your ATM PIN or last 4 of your social. And stuff like that. Your bank doesn't do it. Anywhere you log in today, they're asking for a username and password. So this is happening on May 10th. Our office here, which is on a Sunday, our retail office selling federal student loans will not have our sales folks in on the Monday or Tuesday. That is our choice, because what we're going to do as management and also owners and partners, but not partners with you guys, is we're going to work out a new sales flow. Because of these changes happening on a Sunday, the website not being live until Sunday, LeadTrack will literally only have Sunday to try to figure something out. And I'm very certain that it will not be completed by Sunday, meaning that in your CRM system, you will no longer on Monday be able to import loans or calculate loans to pitch clients in your conventional way. Even if you take the client to the new website and have them create a new username and password, the new sites are basically redirecting to a different URL with a different index where the loans are being pulled from, and that as well will not be ready come Monday. No one truly knows what the layout of the website is, what the field values are, what the index is for, for what LeadTrack does, how it goes in, populates all the things, extracts everything from the site. puts it in a very user-friendly system that makes it fairly simple for us to import the loans and calculate a quote. So we are not going to have any sales representatives here on Monday as well on Tuesday. So we've let naturally our lead providers know that we are not purchasing any marketing or any leads on those particular days. And as well, we feel that the salespeople aren't going to be able to be productive at all working those days. So I want to just stop there and see if anybody has any kind of questions. You can go ahead and put it in the chat box. So if you have any questions, go ahead and share with the chat. I also believe you're able to raise your hand, and what I can do is I can unmute you. Something you'd like to share, any kind of discovery that you have, go ahead and address it now. I got a question saying, what's your recommendation for the other offices? I feel like you should assess the situation naturally and, you know, say, well, if there's going to be issues importing, calculating, navigating, nothing is scripted, nothing is ready for this as of yet as far as from a sales standpoint. You know, it should be on your discretion what you would like to do. As far as what we're going to do, you know, as far as what we're going to do is we're not going to have sales reps that are, you know, going to be juggling, you know, not having a clue for, you know, first half day or throughout the entire day on the floor, distracting management from being able to figure out a new path for this. Am I certain that this is going to happen is another question. Guys, it's the U.S. government. We've seen, you know, other sites and updates. The last change that I personally experienced was when we went from loanconsolidation.gov to studentloans.gov. It put us down maybe for about a day, but it was nothing major. So as far as, you know, do I know if we're going to be up and running by Wednesday? LeadTrack is a separate company, separate entity. They have a couple thousands of users for the student loan industry, and it's in their best interest to have it done. Fortunately, I have a very good relationship with the principal at LeadTrack, and I am working with him, collaborating with him as far as, you know, what we feel might be the best approach for this. As far as their time frame, they've gotten stuff done fairly quick for us, and other things that have taken an extremely long time. But this is a big priority for LeadTrack, given the amount of users that they have, and given the amount of revenue that they can lose if they can't fix this issue soon enough. So the conversation about our existing clients. Thank you, John. That was going to be my closing statement. So our existing clients, our existing book of business, what we're currently doing with the files that we're submitting today, tomorrow, you know, Friday, are they going to be affected? Of course, they're going to be affected, because we're going to have to reach out to all of these clients, taking through the application process. The clients that we have up until first payment, we're almost all complete on the submission process for consumers that have at least made one payment to help that block of business to be pushed through. Naturally, we're all collectively going to have clients stuck in this limbo that we need to submit but can't submit due to consumer not taking action and completing the necessary username and password. We've geared up on servicing. We've hired quite an additional amount of staff to help with this transition, and our retail folks that have files will naturally, come in on a Saturday, a week after the change, once everything is dialed in, and reach out to those existing clients as well to help servicing, since nobody was anticipating this. For every client, we anticipate the application process to be about 7 minutes. By the time we get a hold of a client, get them in front of the computer to complete it, we feel every single consumer is going to take approximately 17 to 20 minutes to do. You times that by a couple thousand clients, it definitely adds up. But we also have emails put into place through LeadTrack that if we're unable to contact them for that particular reason, we will have a link that's going to open up to be a portal once the website is up and running for the new FSA ID. Then the client's going to be able to complete it, come back, put in their username and password. So if we can't reach them during the day, and for whatever reason they're going to do it throughout the night, we're going to have to get it one way or another. So we're going to push very heavily on this. As you guys have all seen, a lot of the files are being submitted. They are being submitted a lot sooner than normal, and we're doing that because we want to get as many files submitted prior to the change, because those are going to be less files that we have to chase after the changes. So I hope you guys all agree on that, and I'm definitely hoping, because we don't know the number of clients that are not going to call us back. We don't know what kind of issues this may create on servicing, and being that we're all in this one way or another together, it definitely does become helpful when our constituent relationships work together with the servicing and say, you know what, we're going to dedicate 4 hours in a day for all our sales reps here. We're going to have them reach out to every single client as well a week or two after, in the event we still have issues. For me, that's definitely not something I want you guys to have to do, but if it comes down to it, I think that would be greatly appreciated for the sake of our clients, for the sake of our receivables, and most importantly, for the sake of complaints. Any other questions pertaining the changes? Okay. It looks like that's it for that subject. Guys, I think you all remember servicing. Servicing saying, let's not do business in some states. We're done. Not accepting states such as Illinois, Colorado, yada, yada. Not a gut instinct. Fortunately, we are privy to know of a lot of insider things before they happen, such as these changes that are coming with the DOE. Apparently nobody knew about it until we found out about it, about some of the features that are coming up that we're going to discuss way prior to it being announced publicly. But going back to the state of Illinois, I don't know if you guys have seen, if you guys are big fans of the which got the Steve Rhodes. But basically, the Attorney General has filed 5 lawsuits against 5 student loan companies that have been, targeting these struggling clients, so on and so forth. And this happened yesterday. 5 companies have been sued, and back in May of 2014, and also sued some other student loan companies for other reasons. In a nutshell, what are these complaints really all about is Illinois has a state level law, and as well as Colorado and some other states that we don't want to do business, where if you are in the debt management, debt settlement arena, then you have to abide by the TSR ruling that was put into place by the Federal Trade Commission in October of 2010. The dilemma with the TSR ruling is it's vague, but it does specifically state inside of that ruling that loan consolidations are exempt from the TSR ruling. TSR ruling specifically talks about in the event that you are altering, modifying, or adjusting an existing term, such as a rehab, that the modification adjustment must have been done, and either a payment has been made or not, but that the work has been completed and the client has accepted it. For many, many years, we've known about that ruling, and obviously from the rehabilitation standpoint, where the client's not being consolidated, the reason we have the releases of the fees at the trigger points that we did was because we had to perform and modify and adjust the existing term. But for consolidations, and this has gone, based on many, many attorney recommendations going back years and years and years, stating that a consolidation is exempt. It's exempt from the TSR ruling. But because it is vague, you can tweak it, you can adjust it to obviously your own benefit if need be. And when you have a Attorney General's office or a federal regulatory that wants to pursue something like that with unlimited funds, it could be hard from a defensibility standpoint if that's what they're pursuing it for. So the Illinois case that had taken place, they talked about deceptive marketing, misleading marketing. They had recordings of, and by the way, our attorney that we have knows Lisa Madagas personally on a personal level. Lisa Madagas is the AG for Illinois. And their complaints and issues are advance fees, true advance fees, where the company was taking the money up front without performing any services. And they would take the monies and, they weren't forced to perform any kind of services because it went straight into their bank account. Versus our servicing is a little bit different, much different. We utilize a third-party company. We have to have submitted a forbearance, which is obviously altering or adjusting, modifying an existing term. And we submitted the file with a accepted confirmation number. Those were our releases versus these other companies that would just take the money and whether they performed or not, they would keep the funds. The biggest complaint, though, from Lisa was the extremely poor advice the sales reps of these offices were providing the consumers in Illinois. Extremely poor, and that's what upset it. This whole situation, not only from a third-party company, they're extremely upset from the servicing standpoint. The actual servicers, such as Navient and Great Lakes and Nelnet, that the servicing people don't have a clue about, the different repayment options and stuff like that as well. But the companies that just got sued yesterday from Illinois, they're touching on, deceptive marketing, advance fees, poor advice, telling consumers that, your loans are all going to be forgiven after, the fee's paid, not explaining to the consumers that it's going to be, that the client has to renew on an annual basis, not explaining that, that $0 payment is accruing interest. It's not one shoe fits all situation. Wrongfully explaining public service loan forgiveness, and she has an example in one of her exhibits saying one of their sales reps talked to this client and said that her loans will be completely forgiven after 10 years through the public service loan forgiveness, although the client stated to the sales rep that she was going to be retiring in 7. Different types of examples like that is what's frustrated Illinois, and awful advice. So you got a lot of companies that have been sued recently, been sued in the past. You're finding mostly because of deceptive sales, deceptive marketing. One of the funny things here on the Steve Rhodes side is, I'm going to show you guys all this right here. In Steve Rhodes Publishing, right here in the middle, you see an ad for Obama loan forgiveness. Inside of this article, I just found it to be extremely funny, talking about student loan forgiveness program available, Obama loan forgiveness, and that's one of the things that typically from a federal regulatory, they don't like President Vance being used ever, and making it seem like, they're affiliated or part of it. So, but anyways, moving forward, in December, the CFPB had sued some 2 companies, California/Texas-based and a Florida-based company, for, again, deceptive marketing, not doing what they said they were going to do, yada, yada, yada. A laundry list of things were in there. But one of the things that they now, in a case that has won, is the TSR ruling from the FTC. And one of the main things that they pointed out was these companies are charging fees in advance. They're charging fees in advance. They're getting their monies in advance. Naturally, what they're really talking about is those companies that have their own merchant accounts, processing money straight into their accounts. These are, obviously lower-hanging fruits. But either way, the funds are being taken up front, and, they're not following the TSR ruling. And so, effective June 1st, Global Client Solution / TransferPay, they've recently sent out a memo to all their relationships saying June 1st they will no longer be accepting any agreements or clients where they're processing the payments and the fees are being released prior to the consolidation being complete. Being that Global is the larger entity out there processing as a third-party processor, your other companies such as EPPS, Reliant Account Management, are going to follow this model as well, and I spoke with the principals at RAM yesterday, and they did advise me that this is something that they're probably going to need to follow as well. So what we've decided to do as a company for a front end and also from the servicing standpoint is effective June 1st, we are changing our contractual relationship to our consumers as to when our fees are released. And on the servicing and lead track side of things, we're also going to be making those changes in that platform where fees are released at the point of consolidation being complete. As far as a time standpoint, you know, we kind of we've been looking at, you know, the time frame and how we have done our current workflow is client gets enrolled. Unfortunately, the salesperson and the client dictates when they can make their first payment, which is typically about 20 days out from the contract receive date. They make their first payment. A month later, they make their second payment. And a month after that, they make their third payment. So 2 months and 20 days. And throughout that period, they're making the fees. We obviously are in business to not worsen our client situation, so we had to place them into a into a temporary forbearance, so that in most cases they would immediately receive some kind of payment relief. So we placed them into a temporary forbearance, which naturally adjusted, modified the existing terms. And by the time the client made the second payment, which is a month and 20 days out, the file would typically be prepped, ready, everything complete that's needed, and the file would be submitted to the DOE. It was averaging about 42 days, and that's factoring in repayment changes, that's factoring in your ordinary consolidation for a standard graduated, and that's obviously factoring in the IVR, ICR pay-as-you-earn. 42 days when we've been running that model, but lately we've been seeing a little bit more of an improvement where it's approximately 35 days. My point being is we're going to switch our model. I know we've gotten used to a particular way, but we're in business, and I hope you guys all agree with this. We're in business to assist and help these consumers. We're in business to as well make money. And I understand from a cash flow perspective, you've gotten familiar with a particular method of when you're getting your monies. It's going to change, but I don't see it being a big change. Our plans from the servicing side is to work a little bit more on the QC and also predominantly QC, and hopefully be able to get in a situation that when a client does enroll with us, first of all, we have the first payment far sooner than 20 days, and that we can immediately submit these files. So we want to be in a position where we can immediately submit the files and get these files completed, hopefully, you know, about 40 days after the contract receipt. So it may not affect your first payment, maybe even your second payment cash flow, but obviously the concerning part is, well, what's going to happen with the third payment, because that's going to coincide with the consolidation payment. So we're looking at possibly reversing the forbearance, where we submit the deal immedely, and they go through about a 30 to 40 day furlough period. And once the consolidation is complete, place them in about another month or two forbearance, so that the third payment doesn't coincide with their new payment if they have a payment at all. So these changes are happening. They are taking place for all files for us on June 1st. We definitely hope that you guys are all going to be, part of this, because it's not necessarily all what you make, it's what you keep. And, from an AG standpoint, if you start seeing more of these, the unfortunate part is you may become one of them. From an AG standpoint, you'll have to refund every single time you did business in that state, or fight it if you choose. If it's from a federal standpoint, well, that's basically your whole block of business. So we're going to go safe. We're going to play it safe, and we want to be safe. And we feel that the money we make, most importantly, we'll keep. So on that topic, I wanted to know if anyone had any questions regarding the changes that we're making on June 1st. So some of the questions, I guess I'm sorry I didn't emphasize enough on who's not going to be in the office here. Sales on this upcoming Monday is not going to be here, and I'm sorry if I didn't emphasize. Servicing will be here. Servicing will be here every day of this week, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and Tuesday. We're going to have everybody here. So from a servicing standpoint, I'm still going to be able to get a hold of people. Nothing's changing at all. And depending on who's still going to be open, who's not, it might actually, be a twice as a productive day for servicing, to be able to reach out to twice as many people due to compliance calls being far down, new files and stuff like that being a little bit affected, obviously, on those days. So hope that answered that. The files that we have, as far as the existing files that we have, are not going to be affected on the June 1st. So every file that we have now and next week and the week after, hopefully will cash flow you guys well enough throughout the June changes. And naturally, it's only going to be 2 weeks of a difference, hopefully, as long as we can get as much of the complete files. We can emphasize on the compliance piece, and compliance really being able to get almost everything right there and then. Linking, as much as we can with taxes and so on. So hopefully we'll be able to get those files submitted immediately, service the client, obviously throughout the process. In that way, consolidation will be complete, client's happy, you guys are happy, fees are released. If I could send some written docs with all the plan trigger changes, yeah, there's one. There's one trigger. I I can write it in the chat box, but we can also send it out. The workflow is being worked on right now, the new one, but it is consolidation complete. That's the trigger. So there's going to be one trigger versus two triggers, and that one trigger is going to be consolidation approved or consolidation complete. And what's going to happen is you're going to receive all the funds that's been put in there. So let's just say hypothetically, clients made 2 payments of $233, so you got $466 in there. Then all the fees are going to be released at that point. And also any payments that are coming in after are automatically subject for a release because your services for the new model has been performed and completed. So what will be used as a proof of service rendered? That's a great question, Andrew. I've been on the phone for a couple hours yesterday. I've been on the phone this morning with Michael Hendricks, and I know you guys might be wondering why is Mike on the phone with Global Client Solutions / TransferPay when we work with Reliant Account Management. Global Client Solutions is obviously a little bit more expensive, hence the reason we utilize Reliant Account Management, but they are far larger than all their competitors put together. So essentially any changes that Global or TransferPay makes, they will affect all other companies. So what we are discussing as far as being able to use as proof of consolidation being complete, because most of which, as far as immediate notification that's been done, is verbal. Just like credit, as you guys know, can take, if you guys refinance your home, it might not reflect for 30 to 45 days. So the last thing that we want to provide as a proof of completion for the release of any of these funds with, and this goes naturally for all the ones we work with, I know the arrangements for anybody else out there is they're literally actually going to want a screenshot of the completion being done. But we're a little bit more fortunate with Global and TransferPay. We're a little bit more fortunate with Reliant Account Management to essentially be able to be in a position where we sign a sworn affidavit that such and such has verified that through verbal that the consolidation has been complete. Both entities, what they're going to want to do is they're going to want to audit a very, very, very small piece of our business just to make sure that they're doing their due diligence. But that would help us and you guys, obviously, in working together to be able to hopefully save that, 20, 30 days. So we're shooting for a signed affidavit to be able to be used as proof. The next question is, so as of June 1st, the offices only will be paid once the process is complete, correct? Yes. What resources do we have if a client defaults on a payment after the consolidation is complete? It's basically the same resources that we use when a client NSF and the process is not complete. Clients receiving about 2 to 3 emails a week, 2 to 3 phone calls a week to get them into a current status. They're either going to want to pay us or not. So the closing commission structure changed For some of you guys that are going to follow and perhaps do likewise, our train of thought is because when we actually pay a sales rep, it's typically about 2 weeks after the first payment's been made, and the file's complete, depending on how the pay period falls and land and stuff like that. So we're essentially not going to be making any changes to how we pay our sales reps. We pay our sales reps, an amount, and I don't know who all we have listening to this, but we pay an amount in the event a sales rep takes the phone call from beginning to end, i.e. open the call, gather all the information, and tuck the client in. And we pay a different amount in the event the sales rep on the file has openers that assisted in the opening, assisted in obtaining all the information, and handed off the file in a complete fashion where a sales rep, aka closer, had to just import, quote, and sell. As far as rehabs, rehabs are ironically, we've looked at rehabs, and the client has accepted the terms. What we're going to do is we're just going to push for the first payment to be made. Rehabs are a little bit more affected by the TSR ruling. They're definitely, because there's no defensibility, because it is an existing debt that is being often modified, adjusted, and not being consolidated and paid off. So the question was, will rehab, will we still be accepted for term release and first payment made trigger? The answer is no. We're going to be doing, as of June 1st, first payment made. And the way that we're training the rehab folks on this is the client's acceptance has to be made with a payment. So we're going to have the client make an immediate payment for that, whether it's set up the same day or next day. So that's going to change a little bit. Okay. So it doesn't look like we have any more questions, and what's going to happen is we're going to summarize everything that we talked about in this workshop, and Debbie's going to send out a more of a detailed, as far as email pertaining all of this. Some of the stuff and some of the questions, such as what trigger release is going to be at what phase. We don't have the workflow complete yet. It's in a sandbox version, which is an enhanced non-deployed version as of yet, and it's being worked around, but it's going to be based on completed, consolidation complete. Rehab is going to be once the first payment's been made, and then obviously all fees are rendered at that point in time. So we're going to have a little bit more of a detailed email being sent out, and also we are recording this session, so we'll go ahead and send that out once it's been put up on YouTube, to allow you, all you folks, to revisit it if needed, or show it to partner or management. Other than that, I'm going to give you guys over to Marcos. Marcos is going to handle the reporting piece. Marcos, do you need to do anything to get the screen ready? So Marcos is a floor manager, manages a team of federal openers and also closers. And one thing we do here every day is a midday report, and we do a day-end report. And it's been extremely helpful for us on the sales side. I know a lot of you guys have either came into the office and asked Marcos to show you how to do it, or have wanted to see how it's done. So I've actually asked Marcos to join us on this workshop to go over it. So I'm going to go ahead and hand you guys over. Marcos.
So I'm not sure if I'm showing my screen here. Hit the play button. Okay. Everybody's on mute, right?
Yeah. Okay. So if they have questions, you're going to have to look at the little box right here.
Bear with me, guys, while I get this everything all taken care of here. All right. So there are the questions. All right. So as I'm going through this, please go ahead and provide me with all of your questions here. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. So one of the things that we're going to go ahead and cover is a couple of the easy things that you need to do in order for you to go ahead and pull this report. I would say accurately. One of the things is that it's an extremely easy report to run. However, it's extremely tedious in how you have to run this report in order for it really takes about, I don't know, anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes to run. So the first step that you would actually go on to taking is to go into the reporting in your YTEL. Now, under the Reports tab, you're going to go into Agent Time Detail. Now, under the Agent Time Detail, you're going to go ahead and select your campaign that you have pertaining to your particular settings there. We have ours on outbound. And the Agent Time Detail will give me a couple of the fields that I need, which is, for one, I would say the name of the rep, as well as the wait time and the talk time, which is extremely important when running these reports, because it's very important that they know how much time they're waiting, how much time they're talking, as opposed to the hours that are in the workday. So once you run that report, you hit download. Now, once you have that downloaded piece, you're going to go ahead and sort this in the order that you want it. So what I do is to prepare my screen here, I go ahead and delete all of these fields here that are not necessary for me, and we have the wait and the talk time there. So let's see here. Give me 1 quick second. Now, one of the next things that we need to do here is you add the total, which is the total of, let's see here, total. Then we have transfers, and then quote, and sales, and then we have average. Feel free to ask any questions during this time, guys. More than happy to answer any of them. All right, and then another important thing that we do add on these reports is a 7-day rolling average. 7-day, and then a month today, as well as let's see here, daily average, and then the forecast. So once you have all this information in, this is the fields that we actually use here. Very important. To add the total, I'm not sure if you guys know how to use your Excel. You would do equals talk plus your wait time. Once you gather that, lets you know what the total amount is. So the wait time is how long they've been sitting on pause. So once you gather that in, it actually calculates everything for you. And you can go down to the transfers. Now, the way that we gather these transfers are through CRM here. Let's see if we have it. Lead track, where are you? That's not the one. Okay. All right. Now, under the report that you would run is the trace report, you go down to lead source report. So under lead source report, you have it, leave it on group. you go down to your pertaining company here. So let's do student consolidation and see how we're doing today. So one of the first statuses that we do pull is the quote complete. Let's see here. Let's get this out of the way. Bear with me, guys. I don't know why I did that. You get a CSV format, you run this report. This is for today. And as soon as that pops up, you're going to have your quote complete for the day. So when we have this information up here, you're going to go ahead and sort it out and make sure that you start filling out every single one of these boxes collectively. So give me 1 second. Did you need my phone? No? Okay. To start sorting all this information, you go down to filter and make sure you filter out your openers as well as your closers here. So bear with me here. Okay. Where's this other one? Cool. So now that you have your two screens up, I'm not entirely sure if all of you guys get these opener boxes. Do they get opener boxes? Yeah, I have that option now. Perfect. So,
and if not, then if you scroll over here
to lead source.
So if they're not using the opener section, the assignment is the opener, and the lead source is the closer.
Gotcha. Lead source is the closer.
If
Gotcha.
If the offices are not using the opener selection, then the lead source is the closer, and the assignee is the opener.
All right. So once we have that information in, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to check out Amber. So Amber so far has got 2 quotes for the day, and 1 was transferred over to her. So what you would do is you start filling every single one of these individually. Now, one of a real helpful thing to do here is just to put everybody in an alphabetical order. That way it makes everything a little bit easier for you to find. So let's take all of these, A to Z. Perfect. Now we have Amber here. Amber got a total of 1 transfer and 2 quotes for the day. Next one down would be Array. Array has 1 quote today, but no transfers. So from time to time, these Excel spreadsheets will take the incorrect formatting and put it that way. So you might want to select everything over here, hit Format Cells, and go to Number and take the decimals off. 0. Now it'll report correctly. All right, and then we're only going to do this for a select few. We're not going to go ahead and run this whole report all at once here. So we have Array that did 0 and 1. We have Ashley that did 2 quotes and 1 transfer over. Yeah. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. And then we have Ashley. It's a total of 1 and 2. And let's see here. Let's do this one right here. So we have Marcos. This is myself here. We had a total of 4 transfers today and 5 quotes for me. So we do 4 and 5. Now, once you start filling all this out, I hope it starts making sense, guys. I'm not going to sit here and start filling every single one of these out. It takes just way too long. Now, once you've already filled out every single one of your quotes and your calls there, you go ahead and exit that out, don't save, and you start running the contract received report. Once you got the contract received report in, open it up, move it over to the side. Actually, let's filter it first. Data filter. Let's open this up. Oops. So once you got your filter in, let's go ahead and sort these out. So A to Z. So now that we have that there, okay. Now we start adding these sales. Let's see what Ashley did. So Ashley So far, she has no sales. So it's no sales for Ashley. We have, let's see, Amber. Amber's on one sale for the day. We also have, let's just see here. So Amber, and then Array. Array's on no sales for today, so 0. And then we have Marcos. We have a total of 4 sales for today. So, where's Marcos on? Right. Oh, wrong one. It's 4. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. So, Amber's got one. That's right. Why is it in mouse? Okay. Once you got that information in, every single piece of information that's in there, just go ahead and don't save that. Open it up. Now, one of the things that easy for you to do would be just to get the averages out. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and divide the sales divided into the quotes. Once you got that in, it tells you what the percentage is. And you drag it in there, but you have to come over here and format that for a percentage. Okay. So far, if you had this whole field completed, it would be pretty simple for you to go ahead and calculate everything out for them. Now, as for 7-day, month-date, those reports need to be ran same as contract received as you have it here. And you're going to go ahead and instead of just for this particular day, you're going to take these days here and move it exactly 7 days. Now, the reason that we do a 7-day rolling average is because we want to make sure that we understand where these people are headed towards, comparatively speaking, to previous days. So 7-day rolling average allows us to, monitor their performance. So once you got a 7-day rolling average here, you run that report from Monday to Monday, from Tuesday to Tuesday, Wednesday to Wednesday, and you start, adding these in for these reps. So once you have the 7-day rolling average, you go ahead and filter these out again. Now, if I'm moving too fast on this, I did go ahead and generate a tutorial that's going to be sent out to you guys by Debbie in order for you guys to do this step by step. Let's see here. Let's see. Cool. One of the biggest things also that we like to filter out are canceled deals. Never do we add any canceled deals in any of our reports because it's a deal that doesn't exist. So, let's go ahead and move this over. Oops. Question. Bear with me, guys. Let's hide this in. All right, now that we have that hidden, now we start adding these in. So here we can see that Amber, she's got a total of, it looks like it's 5. So we put 5 for Amber. Oops. Then we have a total of 9 for Ashley. 9 for Ashley. Brandon has that many. Let's just do these 4 here. So we have Marcos. We have a total of 13 for Marcos within the last 7 days. And then who's down here? Array. Array doesn't have any. He doesn't sell federal, yeah. He's private. Okay. Now, you do the same. You're going to do the same thing with also the month to date. And let's just say, for example, for the sake of time here, Ashley's got a total of 6 for the month. Let's just say Marcos has a total of 8 for the month. Ray has a total of, just for the sake of time here, 5. And then Brandon has a total of 12. Now, we're going to need to figure out what the daily average is. The way that we figure out what the daily average is by looking at the days worked for the month. So far we have Friday was 1 day, Monday was another day, and then today it's Tuesday. That's 3 days. So to figure out this daily average, you would go ahead and divide equals your month-to-date sales divided by a total of 3 days that are working days. Now we know that the daily average for Ashley is 2 a day every time she logs on. And then if we drag these down, then we have a total of 3 a day for Marcos, 2 a day for Array, and 4 a day for Brandon. Now, now to figure out the forecast, and it's really important that these people know where they're headed by the amount of deals that they do have for the month. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to end up with these many deals. So as for a forecast here, you're going to go ahead and hit equal your daily average, and you're going to multiply that times the amount of working days in the month. So to figure out the amount of working days, basically it's just Monday to Friday. We have a total of 20 here with an extra 1. Granted that we're going to have 2 days off on Monday and Tuesday, it looks like it's a total of 19 working days this month. So we're going to multiply that times 19. Now we know that if Ashley keeps doing what she's doing, she's going to hit 38 deals for the month. And if Marcos keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to hit 51, Amber 32, and also Brandon 76. Now, this is basically the scope of the full report here in a nutshell. Let's see here. Let's make this big. And obviously, you guys would, sort it out the way you want to, visualize it with openers, closers, and all that good stuff. But this should be pretty much, plug and play. The only thing is that although it's an easy report to run, it's very tedious. It just takes a very long time for you to complete it. So if any of you guys have any ideas on how to make this report a lot easier, I'm open to suggestions because I do run it on a daily basis. So does anybody have any questions? Did anything not make any sense? No questions. Okay. So that's basically it. I'm going to go ahead and end it off to Mr. Michael, and we'll be all set. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, you guys. So basically, what Marcos does for the floor, what Marcos does from the management eyes, and